This journalist is called Mohammed Isa. He was killed in October last year.
Abdallah Ahmed Mumin has found safety in this house in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, after fleeing his native Somalia in March. Mumin was arrested 3 times for what he sees as retaliation for his reporting about Somali officials. He says he was denied food and medical treatment during one of his stays in jail and threatened with further harm unless he stopped working.
84 last year, 2022. So the graph is going up, not down.
Raised in a Somali refugee camp, Mumin says the atrocities he witnessed there sparked his interest in being a journalist and reporting injustices. Despite fleeing the country, he remains the Secretary General of the Somali Journalist Syndicate SJS, a union that advocates for reporters' rights in Somalia.
It's me now. And the thing that's pushing me is, everyone is leaving and no one is willing to take up this position or this job. So if I stop, who else will be going to take up? Who else is going to do this job? Who else is going to advocate for press freedom?
Mumin is among scores of journalists in East Africa who have dealt with harassment, intimidation or detention in the past year. The problem is especially bad in Somalia. At least 12 journalists fled the country in 2022 and 2 other journalists were killed. Muthoki Mumo of the Committee to Protect Journalists says the broader conflicts in East Africa are part of the problem.
Journalists sort of being caught between a state that is unwilling to recognize the job that journalists must do, and militants, the Shabab, that sometimes consider journalists the enemy. We can look at the Ethiopian Civil War. That flare-up of conflict then again means, journalists suddenly are not safe there.
It's a challenge Abdallah Mumin is taking on. He's training journalists and minority groups on safety issues and how to defend their rights.
I'm starting also a book about this. In addition to that, with other colleagues, we are now in the final stage of preparation of a new campaign, a campaign of movement for social justice, where journalists like me will be part of it. Other people who are interested or have passion of defending human rights will be part of it.
May 3rd, the world marks Press Freedom Day. Another journalist advocacy group, the International Press Institute, is concerned that efforts to convince African lawmakers to prioritize safety of journalists and uphold press freedoms have had little success. However, Mumin maintains a strong belief that a free media can be achieved with united efforts. Victoria Amunga for VOA News, Nairobi.